And we have some big breaking news coming in as far as the vaccination in the country is concerned. The government panel has now approved Sputnik V as the third vaccine to be in the country that will be distributed soon. This after the SDC held a crucial meeting for the emergency use of the same. For more on this, let's go across to our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor joining us over the phone line. Abhishek, so this is certainly a big news of the government panel giving its nod for Sputnik V. Please share more.
Well, Richa, the Sputnik vaccine, Sputnik 5, I believe it's called, which is a Russian vaccine and has been approved by about more than a dozen odd countries, finally gets an emergency use approval by the subject experts committee that met today in its 25th meeting. And the approval has come, of course, amid a new surge in the COVID numbers across the country. We are seeing first peak of the second wave of almost, and the government has been under pressure to increase the supplies of vaccines. We have had Covishield and Covaxin for the last 3 months, but then while requests or applications from Pfizer and Sputnik were pending, there were some further data set requirements that were given to these companies. I believe Sputnik provided them. And now Sputnik, which is again also manufactured in India in collaboration with, I think, Pharma Major Dr. Reddy's, has been given this approval now. So with this, India is all set to get 3 vaccines available for our vaccination program. And that should really add to the speed at which our population is getting vaccinated, and hence should be able to...
So it is India's third vaccine now. It's not a question anymore. It's India's third vaccine, and Sputnik V, Abhishek, Sputnik V has been approved. That's big breaking news. In fact, India and Russia have had, you know, when the Russian foreign minister was here, Abhishek, you had the collaboration, the joint collaboration already in place. A few firms were also authorized, shortlisted. And this comes as a big boost to India. In fact, the plans are massive because India and Russia had jointly planned to produce around 700 to 750 million doses of the Sputnik V. It's Sputnik V for vaccine. Sputnik V, they wanted to produce that in large scale in association with both India and Russia. That's a collaboration, and it's now been approved. Abhishek, stay with me because I'm also getting in AIIMS former director, Mr. Mishra. Dr. Mishra, can you tell us, your view? You think this was much needed, the Sputnik V vaccine? I think the overwhelming view across India is that more and more vaccines are required. And of course, we need to boost our production facilities and the distribution as well.
It's a very important development, which we were hoping to come by very soon. So it has come sooner than later. That's a very welcome step. But we yet don't know how many doses of Sputnik 5 vaccine would be available for use in India, because there will be some commitment for them to give it to Russia and the countries which Russia might have promised. So I think we have to get the details that what is their capacity. As you said, they can produce 800 to 850 million doses a year. So how many per month and how many doses we are going to get for this if we want to speed up our vaccination drive? I think that is the crux. That is important to know what percentage of doses, because currently 95% vaccine is provided by Serum Institute. We don't know how much capacity Bharat Biotech has, how much Sputnik will add. So I think we must get those details, but it's a great news and it's a very welcome step on the part of DCGI to have cleared this. Another vaccine is due to be cleared maybe in second half of April, would be the Zydus Cadila, which is a 3-dose vaccine, and they are likely to go for full authorization rather than emergency use authorization. So I think it's a very welcome thing, and it will definitely boost the government, the states, and also all of us when this vaccine is put to use. But we must know how much it will contribute other than please. Serum Institute, AstraZeneca.
Absolutely. I think this is a very big move, Dr. Mishra, because What happens now will be of course seen very closely by all countries. It's also coming on a day, Dr. Mishra, I wanted to make that mention. It's also coming on a day when you had the Chinese, I think, let me just pull out the details. There was a Chinese official who went on record to say that the Chinese vaccines are not efficient. A Chinese official, a doctor, a leading doctor who looks into vaccines in China has admitted that Chinese vaccines haven't really been effective. Sputnik V over 90% efficacy. Looking at all the vaccines in India, I think it's much needed. The fact that we have Indian-made vaccines and now Sputnik V also being manufactured in India will be a headline story. Dr. Mishra.
Been done in India with the Sputnik. So that is something which is very significant, and it is being manufactured in India by Reddy's. This Chinese vaccine nobody trusts.
Yeah.
If the countries which have even imported Chinese vaccine, people are not using it. People are preferring Pfizer or Moderna or Covishield. So Chinese vaccine is not efficacious enough. It has efficacy less than 50%. Less than 50% vaccine, if that is the efficacy, then it must not be used because it is most unreliable. And that is where our vaccines are much ahead. And I am sure with coming time, these both Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute will alter their vaccines, keeping the mutations on. So I think that a lot of work is ongoing on a daily basis by our scientists 24/7. And we hope that the next batch of vaccines will deal with mutations much better than the present generation, the first generation vaccines, both Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute.
Who is also joining us on the phone line, Dr. Mishra. Thank you for speaking to Republic TV. There's the former AIIMS director. I have Dr. Romil Tikku as well with us on the phone line. Dr. Tikku, your response, because I remember speaking to you a few days back when we spoke about the need for more and more vaccines and the need to ramp up vaccine production. And I think this has come at a time when, there's been such a big debate around Sputnik V. And 700 to 750 million doses, that's roughly 70 crore to 75 crore doses that will be produced. Of course, will take some time, but it's a very welcome move, isn't it? Dr. Tikku.
This is more than a welcome move. This is what the doctor had ordered. This is what we need at the moment. With the second wave creating havoc all over the country, we've had like 68,000 cases yesterday. And with reinfections happening and with the mutant strain creating trouble for all of us, with the healthcare system getting overwhelmed, shortage of beds, what we really need is ramping up the vaccination, and this really helps. We have a third vaccine in place now, and this has a very good efficacy, more than 90%. In fact, this is the third vaccine after Pfizer and Moderna, which has more than 90% efficacy. And it's being manufactured here by Dr. Reddy, so manufacturing should not be an issue. And the storage is not an issue. And along with the Oxford vaccine and Bharat Biotech's Covaxin, this is the third vaccine now which will be used here. And this is what we really need at the moment. We really need to be very aggressive if we want to stop this virus from creating more and more trouble in India, because 45 and above is being inoculated at the moment. But with time, the younger lot, which is up and about, which is mobile, need to be inoculated. And for that, we really need lots of vaccines. Manufacturing is going to be an issue if we need to inoculate majority of the population. And this third vaccine, Sputnik, really helps us. It comes at the right time. The authorization has been given to it, and this was expected anyway, but we really need to ramp up the vaccination drive. We need more and more vaccines in the coming few months, and this is what we really need at the moment.
Thank you, Dr. Tikku. It was a pleasure speaking to you once again. Let me also get in Mohandas Pai. Mohandas Pai joining us on the phone line. Mohandas Pai, you've been on many such debates on vaccines, especially. You've had this huge debate on whether, vaccines for all should be a reality soon, and you've had this news coming in of Sputnik V getting the clearance. And I think it's been fast-tracked, Mohandas Pai, because we were expecting the clearance to come in about 10 days, but it's come, earlier than expected. You think the government is taking the right step? What else needs to be done, Mohandas Pai?
I think the government is taking the right step because we have to expand the quantum of vaccines that go into India, and people should have a choice. Sputnik has been in use in Russia and many other countries, and we have a great company, Dr. Reddy's lab, which is behind this. I'm sure they can invest and scale up. I think it's a very good decision. Government must also look at Moderna and Pfizer because both Moderna and Pfizer have done, large number. I think Pfizer has already done more than 200 million around the world. A lot of data is available. They must approve Pfizer also for emergency use, and maybe Johnson and Johnson later, so that India gets all the vaccines that others have. Very soon, Pfizer will be in surplus in the United States, so they should be able to export. We have to vaccinate as many people as possible in a short time. So I think it's very good news.
Fantastic, and that's one subject. But on the overall subject of this second dangerous wave that we're looking at across India, Dr. Pai, where do you stand on this issue? What more do you think should be done? Are you for a lockdown or against a lockdown?
Against the lockdown, because we have seen that lockdown does not help anybody. Because lockdown only destroys the economy, destroys the livelihood of people. The people who are already at the poverty level become poorer. Many lower class, middle class people, future get destroyed. It's not worth it. We have the cure for it. We have the vaccine for it. And people should be told and taught to take precautions. Because if you take precautions, the chance of getting infected are very less. So I think precautions should be enforced rather than any lockdown. Lockdown is not a good idea anywhere in the country.
Okay, Dr. Mohandas Pai, thank you for speaking to Republic TV. Let me go across to Dr. Jailal. Dr. Jailal of the IMA, he's the president of the IMA, and he's joining us on the phone line. Dr. Jailal, your response to a third vaccine, India approving a third vaccine. We had the Covaxin, we had the Covishield, and now the Sputnik V of Russia has been approved. Over 90% efficacy is what we are told. We have a joint broadcast with Russia Today or RT in about 1 hour from now. But before that, Dr. Jailal, where do you stand? What's your response to this? The third vaccine being approved.
I'm extremely delighted and extremely happy to know this news. And this is a great step our government of India is taking at the right moment, because we know the demand of the vaccine is increasing in the public, but we believe that is the only tool in our hand to overcome this dreaded disease. And at this juncture, as there is an supply, demand is high and the supply is less, and that's the option in front of the government to only open up the new vaccine. And we are happy to know the Sputnik, which has a very good track record and very good effective, and all the studies are proving its efficacy is much better efficacy. So when getting it open to our country, it is the right step at the right time. I wholeheartedly thank the government, and Indian Medical Association will support this move tooth and nail to ensure that every one of our country is getting vaccinated.
Well, fantastic, isn't it? Because you had a lot of people. In fact, question the vaccines and the manufacturing of vaccines, distribution of vaccines, and if I'm not wrong, when the Russian minister was here, and when you had the announcements being made, we were told that 5 firms have been shortlisted, over 700. I don't have the exact number, but over 700 million doses will be produced in the next few weeks and months, and I think some firms have been shortlisted. The groundwork has been done, and this is certainly a welcome move at a time like this, isn't it, Dr. Jailal?
Steps is taken, and I'm sure the capacity of the Sputnik company to produce the more vaccine is well proved. I'm sure we can, whatever we have in the Covishield, the capacity is only 2 million dose per day. But if you are saying it is a 700 million dose, they are going to provide within 10 days. And that is an absolutely fantastic step. And that is going to help us a lot in overcome this pandemic.
Thank you, Dr. Jailal. Appreciate you joining us on this broadcast. That's a breaking news update on Republic TV that India has received its third vaccine. India has received its third vaccine. And just to give you an idea about how Sputnik V works, there's been a lot of debate around Sputnik V. Many countries, in fact, 59 countries, last we checked, 59 countries had opened up to Sputnik V. If you look at it, technically, it was the first vaccine to be approved and to be used. There was a lot of debate around it, especially in the European Union. And now we're getting in breaking news now that India has also approved the use of Sputnik V. The Russian foreign minister was here in India. Sergei Lavrov, a few days back, also made the announcement that they had shortlisted about 5 firms that will manufacture this vaccine. So at a time when you had 2 vaccines, the Covaxin, which has been hugely popular, successful in India, Covishield, both of these vaccines have been the mainstay of India's vaccination program. And now you have a third vaccine, which would only help India's vaccination program, boost India's vaccination program. Because across India today, there is one debate about vaccination. And most experts will tell you that vaccination is the only step forward to assure and ensure that there is immunity among the masses, so far limited to an age group of over 45 plus. And now with another vaccine coming in the next few weeks and months, it may take a little over a month from what we are reading, picking up from experts. The third vaccine, Sputnik V, made in Russia, developed in Russia, will be manufactured in India now with Indian firms. Very much like Covishield was, manufactured and in collaboration with of course, the Oxford in India. It was made in India. Similarly, Sputnik V will also be made in India by Indian firms. 5 firms have been shortlisted. In fact, some of the names that we had gathered with us through Russian collaboration that were given approvals. I'm just pulling up some of those names that we had picked up were given the approval. Let me just pull that up. I just had that detail coming in some time back. So 5 firms in all have been shortlisted, we are told. So we're picking up more details of these firms, and we will tell you more about that in a short while from now.